Welcome to Golf Training Hacks. Consistent shot making. For so many recreational golfers, that's pretty elusive. So many things have to go right in the golf swing, and oftentimes we know they don't. But one of the things that has to go right to make that consistent shot is you need to make ball first contact and put the divot ahead of the ball. That's critically important. But it's really tough for a lot of recreational golfers because they just don't have enough single leg strength and stability. Now here's what I mean by that. First, to get the divot in front of the ball, you need to put the low point of your swing arc ahead of the ball. It can't be at the ball or behind the ball. In order to do that, you need to shift your weight. So as you're coming through your downswing into impact, obviously your weight is shifting forward, and then you're driving forcefully into the ground so that you're creating one line with your ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder, right? And you haven't glided over your front foot, you haven't rolled your front foot, you've been nice and stable and powerfully driven into the ground. If you don't have enough strength and stability on one leg, you can't do that. What happens is, for a lot of golfers, they go into their backswing, okay, they shift their weight backwards over this leg. They go into their backswing. Now, as they come into their downswing and into impact, it feels really solid to stay on this back leg. So they just stay there. Then the low point of the arc is going to be behind the ball. That's not going to work. Some golfers can get their weight shifted from their rear side back to kind of square to impact with both feet on the ground. That feels really solid, but they don't then rotate through. Now, if you square to impact, that's not going to work. That means you're flipping and casting at the ball. You got to get the club head back here somehow. You stopped your rotation, and you're going to have to stand up to get room enough to get the club head back to impact without really hitting the ground behind the ball. So that's not going to work. You need to shift your weight forward, keep your head behind the ball, powerfully drive into the ground. And you need to have single leg strength and stability to make that movement work. So in the next video, what we're going to do is talk about some basic progressions to improve your single leg strength and stability. And in part 2 of this series, we'll advance those progressions. So let's get started. A split squat is a great exercise to begin to build some single leg strength and stability. So I'm going to show it from the side first. You want to get your feet fairly wide apart. You don't want to be too narrow because then it's tough to go down. So in a split squat, your feet are fairly wide apart. You want to stay tall. You want to set a neutral spine so your chest is up. And what you're going to do is drop your hips down and up. That's what a split squat looks like from the front. When you set your feet, you don't want your feet to be flared out. You want your feet to be either parallel or just a little toed in would be okay. Now you can go wider. You don't have to, the closer that you make your feet, the more balance is required. So it's up to you. But you want to have your feet straight or a little toed in, right? Chest up, set your neutral spine, and you're going to go down and up. So you can do it with no weight, but you can use weights to change the impact of what's happening. So if you take a dumbbell and you hold it in the front, now what you're doing is resisting forward flexion. So when I go into my split squat now, I am working my torso a little bit more, and by going down and up with a weight in front, you're resisting this. And resisting rotation and forward flexion is really important to get torso strength, right? That core strength. You can take 2 weights. You can hold them at your side and do the same thing. Or you can hold 1 weight. And when you hold 1 weight, now it's like a suitcase carry. So a suitcase carry, you're resisting side bending. So if I hold the weight on one side and go down, now I'm resisting this as I'm going down and up. So you can use weights. One thing you have to bear in mind is that when you are going down, you don't want to have a sawing motion. That puts a lot of stress on your forward knee. So you want your shin to be straight up and down. If your shin is out over or rather if your knee is out over your toes, the further you go out, the more stress you have on the front of your knee, and that's not good. So that's a simple, easy exercise to begin to build some single leg strength and stability. The second exercise in the progression to get some single leg strength and stability would be to do a row in a split squat position with a little bit more of a forward lean. And now we're going to actually put our forward knee out over our toe. So you can take 2 weights. I'm going to do this from the side. Depending on your level of strength, you can either keep this back foot kind of planted on the toes, but you want to roll forward, or if you have some more balance and strength, you can toe up on this back foot. Now I'm going out over my front foot with my knee. I'm keeping my back straight, and now I'm going to row into this position. Okay, so if you can't get there, you go where you can, but what you want to feel is that you have some force and some pressure on that front leg. So you're getting an isometric load into the front leg while you're doing rows. You can do it with one dumbbell as well. So you can toe up, set your neutral spine, get over that front toe, lean forward, and row. And then you can also do it this way. You can do it alternating with 2 dumbbells. Set your neutral spine, toe up, get over that front foot, and you can row like this. So those are several variations of a row where you're actually putting strength into that front leg, isometric strength, which is really important, and that's going to help with stability and strength on one leg. So if you found this helpful, we'd love you to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up, because we want to get our message out to as many people as possible about improving movement quality. So tell all your golfer friends, and you know what? It's not just really for golfers. A lot of people can benefit from improving their movement quality. So thanks for watching.